Greetings, fellow Ambazonians. This is Chairman Capo Daniel. Today, in our daily brief, na Tuesday, number 7 day for this month of January 2024. I want to give you an update for which way it happen, will be very, very critical. We also put out important information for our struggle, where they help for educate, inform, and maintain our resistance for ground zero, while we try to advance our cause through diplomatic means. Today, I want to bring on a very important development where it happened for this group, the organization where they call and say Consortium. Some person want to ask and say, Consortium, is it they alive? If you see they exist, yes. Consortium, their president, it be John MBAH Okoro, as all we know. Either they use the platform for educate and for push our struggle, as we know very well, sometimes in a very controversial manner, nevertheless, a very important player for our struggle. So the Consortium, it put out two messages, and we'll go bring them for now. Consortium, it will be at a group where it will be created by Agbobala, Fontem Niba, Tassan Wilfred, and all the initial civil society leaders where they will help our people them for bargain, for negotiate with Cameroon government during the uphold committee. A negotiation will be end when the Cameroon government, if it decide to ban the Consortium, we all will be fight me the release Agbobala. If it transform itself, they can get an interim president. When a Tapang Ivor and Mark Barata, it don't evolve when we run day for inside war as an organization led by John MBAH Okoro. So they don't get a very important development what I'm for bringing for now. The Consortium, it don't sack or fire John MBAH Okoro. They don't put out two official statements. One, it talks they don't give an interim president for the Consortium. I will read those two, communicate them. May gonna know, and then I will comment on it. May gonna know what it mean for our collective struggle. Whether you belong to a group or not, it doesn't matter. So long as that group it present Ambazonia, or it claim, or it take part for present our liberation movement, whatever happens in those groups should be your concern. It should reveal to you how it portrays our struggle. So I'm going to read those communique back to you. I go to read them, the translate them for Pidgin directly. The letter it shows in a communique number 1. We don't know whether in the first communique for the Consortium or whatever, but the right and they say communique number 1. It talks about the advisory board, where it means the EXCO, where it be made up of the founding member them for the Consortium. The one for inform all Ambazonia, their political leader them, in particularly the general public for Southern Cameroon. Say the executive member them for the Consortium, all of them, they don't impeach them. So they be impeached them, they move them for office right on the 18th of September last year. And so as a result, they don't dissolve the executive member them for Consortium beginning of this January 2025. And this decision, it happened after a fair and very transparent process. And the reason why they impeach them, now because they be there for meeting, they don't check and find, then see say they over violate all their law, them, their bylaw for the Consortium. The executive member then they don't deny for explain their leadership during this period where they ran there for office. Say for over 6 months, they don't try for intervene and for solve this problem for meeting them within the organization. They see say they get discrimination amongst the various members where they there for executive. So one in the way they look down on other people where they there for the executive. And they don't derail from the fundamental principle them for the Consortium. It means they don't start beginning to do other things them. And it mock all the sacrifice the way people they don't make them for this struggle. They also talk to the president for the Consortium, John MBAH Okoro. He prefer for resign rather than for contribute for the solution. So according to this information, it shows that John MBAH Okoro he don't resign from the Consortium as the president of the Consortium. They say beside John MBAH Okoro, then talks according to this communique, John MBAH Okoro he don't resign from being the president of the Consortium, and also he don't deny for report for the executive member them activity, them forgive them report which way they do them, why they do it, way they do them, all those things them. So they don't decide for impeach the whole executive member. But according to this document, John MBAH Okoro he done already resigned. He no be still the president for the consortium. Because of the dissolving of the whole elected executive member then for the consortium, the elected chairman of their advisory board, that means say the person when I be the chair for the advisory board, Mr. Nde Frederick Nifang, he will become the interim president for the consortium now for 3 months, for 3 transitional months, according to the bylaws of the executive, until they will make another new election for elect a new president of the consortium. They ask all Ambazonian, their political leader them, and the general public for Helebi for this journey. It be signed on the 5th day for January. Then sign this document. So they basically inform we say John MBAH Okoro be done resign. Then they done dissolve all the executive member them. They done appoint Frederick Nde Nifang may be the interim president for the consortium. Frederick Nde na the board member for the consortium. That means say all the stakeholders or chairmen or founding member them na he be their chairman. He play the same role way you get this money you play for inside the skakuf. So they don't fire John MBAH Okoro, he don't resign, as they don't explain them very well. A second communique it don't be put out also, this time by Barrister Nde Andeng Godfrey. He don't put out another communique. I will read the communique as he put them. This one also he write and say na press release number 1. That means say all the previous press release and where they be released are now number 80 with the same logo and everything. So he talks say the General Assembly for the consortium say na the highest organ that for the organization. They be very shocked and disbelief with a press release where Fontem Niba and other 2 people them they don't put them for aside, say they don't dissolve the whole executive board for the consortium. But I will need for mention and say for the later they not talk about the reported resignation of John MBAH Okoro where Fontem Niba then talk say he don't resign. Then further for talk say this unfortunate act where they follow a pattern by Fontem Niba is being carefully followed by some misguided members of the advisory board. So they say Fontem Niba, it misleads some members for that the advisory board. It's just one of many attempts by Fontem Niba for disrupt the Southern Cameroon liberation movement since he traveled to the United States of America on a ticket bought by Simon Monzo, Federalist Organization. So they talk say Fontem Niba, na action this way Fontem Niba ran take him. He fool some member them for their board of executive, for the advisory board, for mislead them. Say since Fontem Niba he come up for Cameroon, he won't come for America. Na Simon Monzo, their Federalist Organization, they be buy a ticket, no be any liberation movement for inside Ambazonia. So they try for insinuate, say Fontem Niba they so na they on an agenda purportedly by Simon Monzo, na an agent for disrupt our liberation struggle. Now they think that way they the one for suggest and by mention and say na Simon Monzo buy a ticket. Say if you don't first try for kick out Sako also for some group where they call an SCLC, even though he no be been a member for that group. Then further explain and say this highlights say they want a part of an act where it violate the statutes them for the bylaw for the committee for the consortium where it be chaired by Fontem Niba himself. And then they also talk say Fontem Niba, he and Anye Kevin, they be done stand for election for the consortium and they lost the election. And so they want a desperate attempt for them for take action for remove John MBAH Okoro so that mean that them become president or may them be the new leader them for consortium. So the consortium, the one sees this opportunity for inform all actors them for Ambazonian liberation movement. Say me then no consider that press release way Fontem Niba they don't put them for outside like anything. So now Barrister Andeng, he write them out like communication secretary. So fellow Ambazonian, now the problem this way day for our struggle. We would want to fight for government. We want to fight for freedom. Would the quote document them for United Nations say they need to respect them? Where we self will never be capable for respecting simple things as writing. Now, one organization, this Iran put out 2 communication for our general public. Inside the communication, they write on a communication number 1. They forget for no say they done the issue other communication before. Any organization need to be organized, for be able to put out communique officially from the offices them where it done designate them with the mark them where you feel refer them. Now say they do document them. But we there for a place where we not even know how to write. You dey enter meeting with Ambazonian. We now go make resolution, write them, all man sign, agree on something. We now go, the next day, people they will forget, they come for another meeting, they go start again from beginning. Make resolution, write them. Some people they need to even take note. We need to be able to honor what we did right. For be able to manage a government or for represent a people, for take that big responsibility. Those are the basic things. I remember we go for Canada, for Toronto with all Ambazonian the defense group them. One signed document. So one day the fear say, hey, how I go sign for some paper? I miss on the one said me, on the one said na trap. All those backward and primitive mindset will see I'm inside this struggle. And I think the way they show is so will never yet be ready for simple basic things them. But yet we'll complain about UN, we'll complain about Cameroon. We'll get the right for complaint. But the one for sure now the type of lapses we will make them. Now, the executive member, the way that they be the leadership, it did a parliament for the consortium. Now they don't talk say Fontaine say John MBAH Okoro don't resign. Now they don't decide to dissolve the executive. Now they be the organ where it hold the executive accountable. Now they don't take decision. Now Fontaine Niba and Annie, whatever reason, they don't articulate their reason. You don't come now the communication leader when probably John MBAH Okoro a friend. You don't come put your own communique. Talk now say, you need to respect which way they don't talk. You know what challenge which way they don't talk for the public. For address whether John MBAH Okoro don't resign or not. You know what for talk whether they don't impeach you or not. Because that body as an executive board of directors then get right for impeach the executive member because now they represent the interest for the general public. You don't come now say a general assembly for consulting they don't take decision. Now how many of them did for dinner? How many of them vote? How many no vote? You know what talk. For cancer, they don't cancel them. Now the problem in this will get them. People they need to follow status. I remember I be there for egg of C. I have a choice supposed the year is supposed for a term of office need for end. You need for come out for office. You don't need be able for rerun for office. It be the fear say me I be become very popular for egg of C. If you can come out for office, it means then stand for election, I will likely win. If because you want me a weak person, like woman rapper. Dr. Julius me replace it so that it will continue for the control for Bagley how Putin be do for Russia. We need to respect institutions, we need to respect law. We do anything anyhow. We cannot win using organization when those organizations are disorganized. How many IG they will get on today? How many so-called president they will get on today? None of the consortium to then get own interim president. Now we get Nana 2 later, the mediation, so we get Nana 2 consortium them. How can we be effective or be respected or even be trusted with the responsibility of a state when we are unable to organize ourselves and respect status? These are basic principles in organizations. Laws matters. Resolutions matters. We'll go for Canada Day, for Toronto. Go make resolution. While fight, I bring document them. A campaign for all Ambazonian that group them will agree for allow community school. We agree not for interrupt our educational calendar. We make certain agreement the way Oma agree. Then go back. If you say those delegates, they even go report for their general them, where they represent them about what will happen for them. No. Oma go back now, we own disagreement. The general agreement be just been as a flow they go. People they do things anyhow, anyway. Just they follow the winds. John MBAH Okoro go there for a platform. He no go talk about this announcement, say that resign or not. Because now just go as it go. So this is a state of our mindset. Unfortunately, we Anglophones, we people for Southern Cameroon, will not be consistent. We'll start with Anglophone movement. The continuity be very important. From Anglophone movement, Godidinka Ikam, he ignore them. He start the own thing, it go. So when they not join it because of he ignore continuity. Then you get the All Anglophone Conference, he come. He forget Godidinka, he forget the Anglophone movement. He start from a new page. Make your own statement then. LCYC, Akwanga come with your own youth league. You can start your own from your own different place. Articulate different history. We get different versions of our history, different claims of legitimacy or narrative of our struggle that our people don't even know what is what. Sometimes it contradicts each other and it reflects itself in how we organize ourselves. People with no principle, people with no order, people with no honor. You have to have honor as an individual. You have to be able to say something and you stick to your word. You have to have values. Without those qualities, it is not possible to assume or take responsibility effectively for a state or the life of your people. That's why they don't care. And the mindset continues to create a toxic environment within our public where people cannot have sane and intellectual debate. We resort to blackmail and people make statements without any evidence or substantiation and they get away with it. People steal, abuse, and they get away with it. All you need to protect yourself is to make a counterclaim, even when you don't have any substantiation, and you will get away with it. We see people who don't have credibility, people who lie, who misinform the public. That is an insult. They think less of you. That is why they are able to do that without being ashamed, without having any sense of remorse. We must refuse such things in our public. We of the People's Right Advocative Platform, we are calling on the Consortium and John MBAH Okoro to take the responsibility to explain to our public what is going on. If he has been kicked out by an organ within his organization that is responsible to supervise the action of the executive, he should respect it or respond to it and give clarity to our people. And this idea that they will come and insult, I have differences with Fontaine-Liva, obviously. But it does not mean that I'll come and blackmail him. It's against my character, against my nature. So Fontaine-Liva and the other org and the chairman of their board of directors, for me, are the legitimate Congress in the consortium that can take decisions. And those decisions should be respected or challenged appropriately within that organization. If John MBAH Okoro wants to reinstate his leadership, he should have a vote of trust from those board directors, not sending out a single communicator, barrister, and then he should know better. Like a student of law, he should know better. So this is the state of our liberation struggle. That where chaos can still be pushed, contradiction can go hand in hand, and we cannot be effective like this. We can't. So I put out this as PRAP, as an organization, as we want to call on the consortium to take their public responsibility seriously and to take into account their statutes and their bylaws seriously, because that is how we can judge them to make sure that people are not misrepresenting themselves, which is often the case in Ambazonia. We don't want to see a divided movement. We don't want to see a divided consortium. We want to see a strong institution that can better represent the interests of our people and reflect the mindset of those people who are within that organization. Most members of the consortium that were initially formed have already left the struggle. Our common law lawyers now is the head of the bâtonnier in Cameroon. People have abandoned it because of things like this. Confusion and chaos does not benefit us. Have a good day, everybody. God bless you.